Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do a cutting video. I found a few rocks down in Macanda at the rock shop. A piece of jasper or agate, Utah agate, one of the two. It's either jasper agate or just jasper and agate. I don't know, but you can see through. This here is going to be translucent, and some of this up in the back seems like it's going to be a little translucent. So it's probably an agate, I'm assuming. Nice looking rock. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in the auto feed saw because I can hook it in right here and cut the whole thing and just leave a smaller piece to make a round cab out of. And I also found he's had this for a while, but there's some rose quartz. And it's the real rose quartz, not the rose quartzite or the pink quartzite. And I've not messed with anything like this. And here's the other one. But it looks to be more solid. Let me put it on this other camera. It does have inclusions in it of some type. And it may have, that's not working too good. Let's try this. But I've never worked with any of it. They were 10 bucks a piece, but these seem to be like the least fractured of the batch, but I'm not sure. And those fractures may be cleavage planes, and they may have grown on ahead and stuck together. So, but I'm going to cut these, and then I'll come back and show you. And I'm going to try to make some cabs out of these. I'm going to make preform cabs, so I'm going to cut these only about yay thick. Quarter inch, I think. Yeah, not 3/16. And not 3/8, quarter, yeah. Maybe a little bigger, I don't know. I'll have to look at my little guide there and see, because I'm not a good judge of distance, but I know they're not going to be real thick because I'm only going to be able to cut them a certain way. And this one here, I've got a feeling I'd be better off cutting it across this way because of these two lines here and here. And this one will go for the earrings to, oh, and there's more fractures coming down this way too. But we'll see what we get. But anyway, I'm not going to show you the cutting because it's too hard to film anyway, and you wouldn't be able to see much anyhow. So I'll go ahead and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and look at these rocks. I got, you'd never believe, I'm going to show this one first. You'd never believe from the outside of this what this looks like on the inside. I could not believe it when I got it opened up. I'm going to show it on this other camera. And then the two other stones. Let me get those put back together real quick. Now the end piece off of this one, I went on ahead and marked this quartz, but the end piece off of this piece was so small and thin, I had to cut it real thin in order to get two slabs out of it. There's the back side already. It's fairly thin all itself, but I needed to cut this one long way, or for the biggest space, so that I could get these bigger cabs out of it, out of this side anyway. I may get another smaller cab out of this piece here, just from this end, but it's not going to be very big because it's shaped wrong, bad. I don't know what I'll do. I may just tumble that piece. But anyway, let's show them on this other camera where you can see what they look like. And let me get my water out here. Actually, I need to let me put a towel down just so that I'm not messing everything up. I got crap laying everywhere. Okay, here we go. I'm going to wet the whole thing down here real quick, just cause. There's the end piece. That is waterline agate. So if you notice, when you stand it up on end like this, these other ones will show up better because they're not as thick. But that's all waterline agate. And there's the next piece. I cut these all at 3/8, or yeah, 3/8 of an inch, or no, 3/16, quarter inch. Well, I don't know. I've slept since then. It took till 10 o'clock last night, a little after 10 to, there's the other side, to get this cabbed. Now I've got this piece here is just going to be a waste. I'm not going to be able to do anything with that. It's a big fracture anyway. It comes down through here. I got rid of some of it. It was down in there somewhere. Oh, it was up in this way. I don't know. But let me get my light out. I didn't see that piece pop off, but I was lucky that it stayed on the... It's not going to pass through all of it. But it's not all that dark either. Here's the next one. They're starting to lighten up now. I just hope it all holds together. Now it's getting even lighter yet. I thought it was agate. I thought it was agate, but I didn't know it was going to be waterline agate. It seems like waterline agate. It may just be because if you turn it up this way, you can see the way the inclusions come in, and it's been laid down in layers. starting to dry out. Good looking rock. And this one's like the clearest. It's not completely clear, but it's the clearest of the batch. It's pretty fractured, so I will have to stabilize it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece yet. That's the end piece. That's what I had to clamp in the vise. But as you can see, it lets slide all the way through. I didn't hit this with my. I didn't expect any light to come through it when I was looking at it at the rock shop. But it did after I got it home. Well, after I cut it, actually. I don't think I tried before I cut it. Okay, now here's the second piece. This is pretty, it's showing up pretty white on the back until you wet it down. That's going to be the bottom of this one. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There, I'm getting some light behind it with that other light. And I'm making them small because I don't know what they're going to actually look like. And then I never did wet it, the whole thing down. It's everywhere it's cut, it's I got to figure out a better way to get some light behind them. And there's the next one. Got to get it in focus before you can shut it off, or before you can get it or first put it up there. It's not in focus until you put your hand behind it. But that's that rock, and then here's the other one. I'll just show it piece by piece because it's only just two pieces. And it's got all these chips on the back. You can see them lighter, the lighter spots right there in the center underneath where the light's at. You can see the light reflecting back at you, and I don't know if it's in focus or not. There we go. Now you can see them a little better, but that's going to be the bottom or the top, so I'm going to lose most of that. Some of that's not actually in the circle, but some of it is. And then here's the other part. I was originally going to just tumble this because I thought it might be just a little too thin. And I got a feeling when I cut it down, but it's also got all kinds of fractures through it. But it seems to be holding. I tried to, this long line or long fracture, what it looks like a fracture, it's probably cleavage plane. This line coming down in between these two on the left, and there's one coming down in right across this one. Oh, I'll get it up here where I can show you. I can't look at both places at the same time. But those two lines coming straight up and down there may hurt me, but that's why I did these. I've got a setting that I could put one of these two in, but this is the smallest. I just used it because I figured on this one, which is the end piece of this other one, I figured I'd get a couple of earrings. So these two end pieces, I figured I'd get earrings out of those, and then pair them with this larger oval, and then make these individual necklace cabs. And then I'd have some for smaller necklace cabs for a girl. And I did this one just in case one of these two doesn't turn out. So I've got 3 of this size here. And I also, while I was there, I cut this shape out. That's the plume agate that I had a while back that I cut. And this was the piece that I had to recut because it had a fracture in it that was interfering with the original pattern that I put on it. And I put this pattern on there and it slid on me, so it's kind of messed up, but it'll be all right. I'll figure that out. And I also cut that piece of tiger eye up so that I could make a couple cabs out of it. I haven't decided yet on what size I'm going to make out of those, but I'm going to try to make them flatter so they don't turn dark on me. And we'll see what we get. But right now, that's it for those. I'll go ahead and shut that off. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and cut all these out and get them dopped up so that I can start working on them. I'm going to cut, this one's already been cut out close enough. I can grind all that off, but these ones I haven't messed with yet. These I'll have to separate out and cut off and get those dopped up and ready for starting on, and I'll start on those today. Hopefully I'll have this out by Friday, at least the cutting video, and I think I'll probably start on this cab first, so it may be just this cab and the cutting video, depending on what kind of time I got left. Actually, I should have all kinds of time, but and I'll probably do at least a couple of these. I don't know how long they're going to take. They shouldn't take long. It's pretty clear, and I'm not going to go to the 80 grit, I don't imagine. I think I'll just use the 220 grit because I don't want to leave real deep scratches to then have to try to get them out. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I think I'm going to do my 5 smaller ones first. I've already shaped them. I shaped them on the back. You can't see the lines too good on those, but you can still see the lines on the bigger ones. I went on and shaped them by hand because the tops of them were so uneven. I didn't want to dop them and then try to get the edges straight up and down the way they should be. So I just did them by hand, and I'm not going to do that again because, as you can see, I got my knuckle pretty good a few times. I hit that thing a couple dozen times. Only 3 of them drew blood, but I took quite a bit of skin off. But that's the price you pay to make pretty things. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And I did take them to the 80 grit just a little bit to get some of the bigger stuff off of them, like this one here. You can see that I ground off some of that top because it was way too tall. It was probably about that much higher, just right there in that spot. And this one's got a yellow line down the center of it, rust colored line, but that should be gone. You can see a little easier on the edge, one of the edges. That'd be this edge. Stop looking over your glasses. So that's why I wanted to do this one first. See how much of that I can get rid of. I might need some water though. Oh, speaking of water. Okay, I'm back. Let's look at these stones. I'm going to show them over here on the table with the other camera just because they're too hard to handle. You can see that they've lost some of their pink a little bit. Yeah, they look a lot less pink when they're not on something white. When you're holding them up by hand, I'll show you that in a second. And it's a good thing I made 2 of these, or 3 of these actually, because this one here, when I was polishing the back, it came out of my fingers and it was rolling around on the tray. They're even hard to keep a hold of. And I was doing this by hand. I didn't put them on a dopstick. I don't know how many I let go of accidentally, and they turned out, or they ended up going into the bottom of the water zone, where the water goes down to underneath the table of the flat lap, and it's a wicked little chip. And there's not anything I can do to straighten that out and keep it where it would match these. It's not going to match anything I've got, but these, and as you can see, when you pick it up and hold it up and it's got light behind it, it looks white. I mean, you can see a little bit of the pink. You can see pink tinges in it, but unless it's down on something that's white. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm looking through the looking through the monitor, and the lens of the camera is about 3 inches higher than that. But I've stabilized them as I showed you. I didn't polish the backs all that well. All I needed to do was make them to where they didn't look like this anymore. This is one of the 3 that I've still got left to do, and I'm going to do these 3 on the next video. They're bigger, and but I knew I could get all 5 of these done, and I almost got all 5 of these done. I did have to switch back to the flat lap. I had them ready to go. I started out on the 600 soft disc, and I had them ready to go, and I started working them and got them down where they were flat and didn't have any big scratches in them or anything. No, and matter of fact, the only scratches I could see were from it was all pretty smooth. They were from the 325, or no, from the 600. There was just a few of them there, and all I could see was the spall marks that were still left in there, not spall mark, kerf marks that were still left in there from the saw blade, and the marker from drawing my outline stayed down in a couple of them. And I had almost all of that down. And I went to the 1200 grit soft plate and got scratches so deep I couldn't get them back out with the 600. So I took them to the 325 metal steel plate and took the scratches off with the steel plate, and then brought them back over here and worked them on these two. I had to dop them back up in order to work them on these because I knew I couldn't hold it on those. That one over there, I could hold them down with one finger or two fingers, but that was about all I could get on it was two fingers. And they were hard to pick up because I was doing it by hand, and my big old fingers I was having, and the girdles are only like 2/16 of an inch, I think, if that tall, and so I didn't have anything to flip up there, and plus I've ground off all my fingernails. But anyway, I've got that all, these are all done. I don't think I need to show you the backs. The backs don't really matter. They're going to be hidden, but if you don't get, what I was starting to say was, so it doesn't look like this doesn't let as much light through as if it's shiny or almost shiny. This lets less light in from the back. So if it's like these were earrings, the two smaller ones were earrings, it would let the light in from the back, and you could see them, but they would look white unless you had white hair, or unless you had them on the ear part on your ear itself, like on a clip-on type deal, or just a stud. I think that's what they call it. I know I used to wear a Harley Eagle in my ear when I was younger, a lot younger, about 46 years ago. But anyway, you guys take care, and thanks for watching. This one will be out Friday. Today's Wednesday, the 29th, and this will be out Friday, and then these ones here should be out Sunday. And then I'm going to start working on this other agate that I got down in Macanda. I'm going to have to make some cabs out of that. I'm going to make some freeform, and I'm going to make some preform, because I got plenty of slabs. I can make a preform out of the bigger ones. The bigger ones with fractures in them, because I can stabilize those. Or preformed, because then I don't have to worry about. Well, although I kind of like those patterns. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I got to sit and ponder it for a little while. And I've got several places that come over and I've left a ledge. I don't know why my saw keeps shifting like that. I think I do, but because I usually start it before I think what it was I was starting it, but I wasn't watching what I was doing when I started it, and I think I basically just didn't get it in far enough, and it was an odd-shaped rock. I don't know which side was out, but whichever side was out was sticking up higher. I think I had it this way, so whichever side was on the edge, it was up higher than the table that they write on, I think. I'm not positive of anything. I noticed them when I brought them out of there and stuck them in the oil dry, but I didn't pay much attention other than that. But anyway, you guys take care, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.